Hello everyone, the 316 here with another Mcfarlane Toys DC Multiverse review. This time I got the Monitor, or Crisis on Infinite Earths, Build-A-Figure Wave. Each figure in the wave retails for about $40. It's exclusive to the Mcfarlane Toy Store. However, I was able to get my entire bundle here for 25% off during their Memorial Day sale. So in total, this only cost me $125. So that's about like $27 a figure, right? Basically, I paid just a little more than I wanted to. These Build-A-Figures usually go for $25, and spending 125, I basically got each figure for 25 bucks. It does suck, but at least I got a decent price on this. I don't think I overpaid by too much, and again, the retail price was $40. So one other thing to note, if you want to get these figures individually, Psycho Pirate and the Flash over here, or Kid Flash rather, they're both still available, but Spectre and Superman have been sold out for a very long time. At least I think since a day or two after they were initially put up for pre-order. So let's go ahead and start off with the boxes. These boxes take up a lot of space, so I'm going to get them out of the way first. So all the boxes are pretty much the same. So this is Kid Flash's, for example. Here's the monitor. It says the name of the figure in the box on that side as well. There's nothing on the top. Here's the barcode, not that you would need it. Again, this is a Mcfarlane Toy Store exclusive. It's got a picture of the monitor, and it has what part each of them come with. All of them are accurate. And then here is all of the figures in the wave in their card form. So, all the boxes are the same. It just says the character name. That's the only thing that's different. There are also two platinum figures in this wave. The only way to get those was the EQL, although some of the Spectre Green Lanterns came. As you can see, I do have one of the platinums. If the glare wasn't so bad, there's Spectre Green Lantern. I'm still not sure if I'm going to open this, but I'd at least like to have him shown off in a video of mine. So you can see him back there. We'll do a closer look at him next to the Spectre when I get to that point in the review. Alright, accessories wise, you don't get a whole lot, but of course they each get a card and a stand. So here's Kid Flash's, and here is the read-up. Give you a second to pause on that. You get the Psycho Pirates, which is more of like the Flashes. It's kind of weird. Kind of wish they did a different Psycho Pirate, picture here. Especially just that picture right there. I just think that's funny. The other platinum in this wave was Psycho Pirate from Infinite Crisis. I was unlucky and did not get that one. But here's the Spectre's card and his read-up. And lastly, we have the Earth 2 Superman, or as it's called, Superman of Earth 2. And there's the back of that. Also, this is Kal-El, not Kal-El. So, thought that was interesting. Alright, so back to accessories. There's only two figures in this wave that get some extra hands. So, Kid Flash over here, now that we can put him in frame finally. He comes with two, karate chop running hands. And he also comes with two fists. But there's a problem with these fists. One of them is smaller for some reason. As you can see, this one is like a baby hand. I don't know why that's like that. One of the hands just fell. I think I found it. Yep. But yeah, I don't know why they made this hand so small. Like, this is so bad. Like, especially for $40, having one hand that's very clearly smaller than the other. It's a strange choice. It boggles the mind, They're also a slightly different color. This is a bit brighter. This is a bit darker. The only thing I can think of is they reused the fist hand from the other figures, and then they just grabbed this from another figure as well. I'm not sure. And Superman here, he comes with two fisted hands and two of these open hands. And these open hands are gigantic. Just to show you how big these are, let's take a look at, let's see. I'm trying to see what would be a good example here. Okay, we'll just put it up to his face. Like, look how big that is. That's a big-ass hand. Like, why does his hand need to be that big? I mean, still, it's nice to have those hands, but like, Jesus, they're so gigantic. What the heck? All right, let's go ahead and pull these guys a bit further back. My monitor here has trouble standing up. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and start off with Kid Flash here. Let's readjust him. I think for this video I might do some comparisons as I go, just because a lot of these figures, actually all of them except Superman and Monitor, have reuse. But here is the Kid Flash figure. I do like this figure. I think they did a good job. The reds look nice. The yellow is correct. Uh, I don't have a reverse Flash, but at some point I'll probably pick that up. He's not too hard to get as far as I know. Uh, Mine does have a bit of a issue here on this foot, where like some of it is a bit further forward, like it's not up against the joint. I think that was just a molding issue. I could reheat that and fix that. Um, I don't like how glossy this Flash is. You know, the other Flash figures I have, they're not nearly this glossy. When I opened this guy, though, the issue I had was similar to my Green Lantern. There was just so much like lubricant on this guy, and I don't think that that's a remnant of that, because it doesn't feel, liquidy anymore. Maybe a little bit, but definitely not as much as it used to. The lightning bolt logo is good here. The boots here aren't actually the same as the Flashpoint flashes. They are a new mold, which I thought was kind of strange. I'm surprised they didn't just reuse this. I think the boots are the same, but the boot cuff is new, from what I can see. And as you can see, the forearm here is also different. They added these, the big things. I forget. I don't know what they're called. I guess bracers. Now his running hands, they are pretty small, but it's not nearly as bad as that fisted hand. That fisted hand is just so tiny. It just does not look good. Ugh. Anyway, last thing to look at here is the head sculpt, which I think they did a good job on. I do wish he had a bit more of an expression on his face. He looks a bit kind of dead with that mouth. I think if he had a different, mouth expression, I think it'd look a bit better. The hair is two-toned. I'm not sure what color it's molded in, but it is dry brushed. And, you can see the brighter blondes and the darker blondes. So I do like that. For the most part, pretty decent Kid Flash figure. And I don't have the other Kid Flash figure to compare this to, but I do have Flashpoint Flash here, just to give you an idea on that. I also do have the Wally West Flash from Walmart, but I thought that this one would be more appropriate of a comparison, since he only took up the mantle of the Flash after Barry died. So, yeah, good, decent Kid Flash. Not the one that I was most interested in this wave, but one that surprised me in good and bad ways. Next up, we have the Psycho Pirate here. Psycho Pirate, don't really know too much about. He's really a character I've only known from the Crisis on Infinite Earth story. Basically, I wouldn't say he predicted it, but he warned about it. And he was a very short cameo in the Arrowverse when they did their Crisis story. He also has some issues with the lubricants that they added to this figure. I don't know why. He also reuses the Blue Beetle and Booster Gold body. Again, I think that's fine. It's a good body mold, I guess. He does have the I think it's comedy and drama logos on his torso. I forget what that one is. They're printed on there kind of okay. I do wish they were a little bit of a higher quality, but it's still nice to get all these paint on this figure. Look at how well painted this is. You got the black here, 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 here. I wouldn't say it's very well done, but it's done well. And I think that's what matters. They even painted over the pin there. So, that's something that Hasbro and Mcfarlane usually don't do, is paint over the pin. They kind of just leave it loose. If you've collected the Power Rangers figures, you know what I mean from Hasbro. Anyway, yeah, good figure. Not too much to see here. He did come with a platinum chase figure that had an unmasked face. This one does not come off, unfortunately. I wish it did, so that we had the option. But, if you do want to have a custom, You just have to find a face. I saw someone use the Flashpoint Aquaman figure for that, and fooled me and a couple other people on the subreddit thinking it was the Platinum Chase. The back of the figure, I believe, is unpainted. Yes, back of the figure is completely unpainted, which kind of sucks, but I'd say this be a decent base body for custom figures, but considering how much this guy goes for on Mcfarlane Toy Store, yeah, I don't think it's a good figure for a custom. But it does come with a new upper body as well as a new cape, which is nice. I do hope to see this cape reused in other figures. I'm surprised they didn't just reuse the one from the Alan Scott Green Lantern figure, but no, it's new, and it uses the same plastic as the George Clooney Batman figure from the Mr. Freeze Build-A-Figure wave. It's very pliable and very leathery type of. Ugh. Anyway, don't really have any other characters to compare him to except for the figure I already brought out, which was the Flash, as well as let's get Batman in here. I don't think these two really interacted. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there you go. Give you an idea here. Alright, the next figure here we're going to take a look at is the Spectre. Now, Spectre was one of the figures that I was very interested in. He reuses the Martian Manhunter body for the most part. He does have new shins, and I think that's really it. He only has the new shins. Pretty sure everything else is reused for Martian Manhunter, and the crotch piece and the boots are new, of course, but that's kind of obvious. I did try to swap out his hands with the one from the Vampire Robin figure, but I don't think the pegs are compatible, so you'll have to do some customization. But if you want to have him with a pointing hand, you could do that if you had the Vampire Robin figure and like a Dremel. I think that would work. I do have issues trying to stand this figure up. I do have to have one of his legs forward and one of his legs backward. I think it's mostly the ankles that I have issues with. They sit at a weird angle, and it's kind of hard to get them to sit properly. There's really not too much to see with this guy. He does have one, grabby hand as well as one fisted hand. Really wish he came with some alternate hands. The cape here, as you can see, is supposed to look like the galaxy is behind him. He's like, I forget what he's called. Like the Spirit of Vengeance, right? Wait, no, that's Ghost Rider, right? Hold on. Gotta double check my comic book knowledge here. The embodiment of divine wrath, instrument of justice, God's justice, that is. I think it's a decent effect. Personally, I don't care for it, but it's okay. Also, his head here, half of it is painted black towards the top. I think that's just to give the indication of a shadow on his, from his cloak here. I think it's okay. I don't think it's terrible. Also, the section of neck here is painted in black too. I think that's also to give it the look of shadow. It's not executed poorly. I just don't think it's something that, because other figures in this line don't really have shadowing like that, I don't think it's really all that good of a job. Anyway, let's go ahead and bring in the Martian Manhunter figure here. And you can kind of see the reuse. Basically just all of the parts here. And I'm pretty sure the upper body is reuse. I don't know why they would need to resculpt that. But you never know with Mcfarlane. They'd make weird reuses from time to time. This one I don't think is a bad reuse. The only issue is Spectre's not very tall. Same thing with Martian Manhunter. So you can see Batman here is taller than Spectre, which is just kind of sad. I, again, don't know why they did that. But it's done at bad body mold. And like I said, of course, I do have the Platinum Chase Spectre here. Let me pull that up. God, the glare is bad. Let me just... There you go. So you can see the difference between these two. His is a brighter green. Of course, this is Hal Jordan Spectre, not Jim Corrigan Spectre. I'm still glad to have the Platinum, but I had to pay $50 for this from Mcfarlane. Ugh. Just this wave was expensive for no good reason. The rumor going around is that this wave was a Target exclusive and Target backed out, so they had to charge more. But I'm not too sure about that. I think Mcfarlane was just testing the waters with how much he could charge people. Anyway, the last figure before we get to the Build-A-Figure here is the Earth 2 Superman. And this figure is, I think, one of my favorite Superman figures in the Mcfarlane line. I think that it's very well proportioned. I like the colors of it. The logo looks good. It has a wired cape, as you can see here, which is very nice. You don't get too many wired capes. This is one of the first figures to have a wired cape, so it's nice to see that. It also has the Superman logo on the back of that cape, which is, I think one of the only times we've seen that besides the one Hush figure. Let me fix the cape here so that it's a bit more manageable in frame. There we go. But yeah, it's nice. Like the look of that. Hope to see more wired capes in the line, and we are getting them. Just taking a while. I know that the upcoming Batman Forever Robin figure has one, but not Batman. It's strange. Anyway, I do have some issues with this figure. As I said, these hands are gigantic. The fists are actually not too bad. Like, these don't look too oversized to me. These look almost natural. I actually did do a hand swap with this and the classic Superman figure, and the skin tones almost match, but I think what's better is that the hand swap looks better too. But I mean, look at how big the big ass hand this is. Like, look at this hand. Like, Jesus, this is a big ass hand. Why is it so big? Like he does not need to have a hand this big. Like, he could hold probably like two basketballs with this hand. Ugh. But just so you can see how big it just baffles me. Why is it so big? I just wish Mcfarlane had like a person on their staff that's like, all right, this is too big. Let's shrink it down by like 10-15%. See how it looks. So one other thing I don't like about this figure besides the hands is that they didn't paint the back of the belt. Why did they not paint the back of the belt? Like, I know he's got a wired cape here, but if I'm paying $40 for this figure, why is there paint missing? This is on every version of the figure, by the way. This is not a QC issue. For the most part, Mcfarlane, at least on my perspective, doesn't have too many QC issues. Sometimes you get the wrong Build-A-Figure part included, and they're just like, well, you're shit out of luck. It's awful. At least Hasbro's like, all right, we'll send you a new figure. But I'm not saying McFarlane's support's bad. It's just like, from what I've seen, they're not always the most helpful. But anyway, this is using a completely brand new body as well as a head, of course. And I think it looks really good. The blue here is a nice bright blue. It's not as bright as the classic Superman. I think that this is the right shade of blue for Superman. Now, it is a little bit brighter than the one on the card, but it's not something that really bothers me because it's very close. It's not very obviously different. I really hope they reuse the Superman body more because, as I said, I feel it's very well proportioned. The shoulders here, they look very good. They don't look oversized or undersized. The arm length looks good. Again, I just don't have many issues with the body mold here. I think that this is one of the best Superman figures that they've ever released. It just sucks that it cost $40 to get this, or get the whole wave for as much money as I paid for it. Or, well, it's probably back to normal price now, but it's still a good figure. Since we haven't seen this body mold before, I'll do a very quick... Oh, yeah. One issue I do have with this figure is the hands pop off pretty easy, which sucks. But they hold on there. It's just they come off very easily. As you can see, I'm trying to move the arm there. So, he can almost touch his shoulder. He gets pretty close. Twist. There's actually a pretty decent amount of twist in the leg there. He's got double jointed knees here. Let's see, can he kick his own ass? He can kick his own ass. This is a weird looking pose. I dare someone to pose their figure like that and send me a photo, like image or link. Let me fix his leg here. With most of my Mcfarlane figures, they have trouble standing up or having a very straight pose. He doesn't really have much crunch. He can get just a little bit Of course, the back is perfectly good. Um, he's got the ankle, he's got the toe, nothing out of the ordinary there. Really, there goes his hand again. Ugh. Let me see if this one pops off easy. Yeah, that one popped off pretty easy too. It's mostly just the fists, but lastly, the wired cape, it doesn't flow out as much as I'd like it to. It does, but it's just the other figures, the Cassandra Cain Batgirl, as well as the first appearance Batman, their capes flared out a bit more. This one only goes to about here, which is still impressive, sure, but just a little bit more would have been nice. It's not really a major complaint, just a nitpick. All right, 20 minutes in, and we finally get to the Build-A-Figure. So here is the monitor. Now, there was also another bundle that had the anti-monitor in it. I was unable to get that. They must have sold out on Memorial Day before I went to buy that bundle. But, still glad to have this bundle here. And I think the monitor turned out pretty good. Although one thing I'd like to point out is that in the comics, his outfit, I feel, was more of a blue color with highlights of black. But Mcfarlane decided to do a black figure body with the blue gloves. I do wish there was some highlighting on the arms, the legs, and the midsection there. But that's something I can do on my time. Also, this is a very textured body, and as I saw in that image, it was more of just a flat texture. There was no texture to it. This figure does. Oh, before I forget, the Superman. I wanted to pose him next to my what I've been using as my Earth 2 Superman. He's a little bit taller than the Hush body, so he'll stand pretty well with some of the Batman figures. All right, now we can get him out of the way. Almost forgot to do that. I think that Monitor here, he looks pretty good. Not too bad. I do feel like his head's a little too big. I don't think it looks bad by any means. I think that it's captured very well. He's got kind of a stern expression. I always found his hair to be weird. Mutton chops with like the strange looking cornrows that reminded me of the Blackest Night lanterns. This one's not painted all that well. Towards the back, you can kind of see where it should have been painted over, but they just kind of missed it. Paint-wise, I don't think there's all that much on here besides the cape, this silver piece, as well as the gold here. Other than that, there's no paint on this figure. I do like the texturing on the cape. Some people thought it was a wired cape. It's not. It's plastic. It's pliable. It's bendable. This would look really good with the wash. I love the texturing on that. They did a good job on that cape. This looks like a vent to me, like a AC vent or something, like on a truck maybe. I don't know. And the cape piece fits on the torso very nicely. You can obviously see the seam line there, but I don't think it breaks up the look of the figure by any means. It's a well done job. He is a little bit taller than everyone else, as you saw. I don't really like how his waistcloth piece here is sculpted to go to the side. I wish that was just straight down. I don't mind a bit of posed figures, but when these are about their posability, I do wish that this was just a static pose rather than off to the side like that. You could obviously replace it with a cloth good, but it's not something that's in the cards for me. Take a look at the gauntlets here. Those are molded very nicely. There's a lot going on. And then, the same thing on the other side. A lot of good texturing here. It does use a more creamy gold color rather than a nice gold color. It's okay. I just think that there are better gold plastics that Mcfarlane's used. Boots are similar, although these ones are more, just basic looking boot cuffs. And then the boots themselves, they're pretty nice. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Now, because of this waist piece, the articulation in the legs is a little bit limited, so he can kick out that far. He can kick on this leg. He can kick forward, not too bad. This one is a little bit less. He doesn't have too much twist in the leg. He has just a little bit, as you can see. I don't believe he can kick his own ass, but let's see if he can kick his own ass. Yeah, he cannot kick his own ass. He gets kind of close, though. I do have issues standing this figure up. Just a problem with Mcfarlane. He does have the The fake butterfly joint, the rotator cuff in there. He's got the rotation up there. Can he touch his shoulder? Obviously, with the shoulder plate, he can't. But, if the shoulder plate wasn't in there, he could touch his own shoulder. I never like this joint in here, how, loose it looks. It's not loose. It's just, it looks like it could fall off. Does he have crunch? How much crunch does he have? Actually, not a bad amount of crunch for a Mcfarlane figure. He can crunch pretty decently forward. And back is exceptional, of course. I don't know why the backs are always more exceptional than the front. The front should be more. He also has, it's painted all the way up to there. And the cape does have a plug there, but you could just cut off the plug. It doesn't need to sit in there. You can have it popped loose. And it's really not that noticeable if you have it popped loose. There we go. As you can see, he has issues standing up. But now it's time to do our size comparisons. 25 minutes into the video, almost 26. Anyway, Kid Flash here, he stands at just about 7 inches. Psycho Pirate here stands at 7 inches as well. The Monitor here stands at 7.5 inches. Spectre here stands at just under 7. And Superman here is in between a quarter and a half. Yeah. All right. Trying to get my ruler back. There we go. All right. So you obviously saw some comparisons with those DC figures, but let's get in two more. My standard ones, if I can grab him. We have the Arkham City Batman. We have the gold label, Walmart exclusive. We have the Build-A-Figure Atrocitus. He's quite a bit taller than Monitor. No surprise there. All right, sticking with our 7-inch lines, we have the Halo Spartan Yoroi from the Spartan collection. We have our wrestling figures. We have the Mattel WWE Elite 100 John Cena. The AEW Unrivaled Samoa Joe. That was a Target exclusive. There he is. You can see him back there. Now let's get into our 6-inch scaled lines. We have the Scarlet Spider from Marvel Legends, the retro card. We have the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Dino Thunder Black, the Star Wars Black Series retro card Boba Fett, and lastly we have Tiger Force Outback from G.I. Joe Classified. While I do like this Build-A-Figure wave, as you saw, I do have some issues with it. Psycho Pirate and Spectre, I don't really have any issues with their figures themselves. With Superman and Kid Flash, I feel like their hands are either too big or too small. And, he's missing paint on his belt. And, that's unacceptable to me, especially with each figure retailing for $40. Again, these two have sold out, so you're going to have to get them on the aftermarket. Otherwise, you're going to have to buy the bundle from Mcfarlane. I was going to buy the bundle at some point anyway. I'm glad I was able to get it during a 25% off sale, and that's what I would recommend. If the bundle is still in stock and there's a sale on their in-stock figures, wait for a sale for these guys. I really don't feel that the value is there for the quality of the figures. I do wish that the Monitor was a little bit taller, as well as Spectre. Honestly, I kind of wish that he would have his height. But, pretty much all of these figures are reusing something except Superman, who has a very great new body mold, which I want to see more of. Please, Mcfarlane, more Supermans on that body. He comes with a wired cape. I think Superman's probably the best value. Wired cape, new body mold, completely brand new, has some extra accessories. He's just missing the paint on the back of his belt. And the head sculpt's not too bad. Spectre, I think the paint's overdone, but otherwise not too bad. Just wish he was taller. Psycho Pirate and Kid Flash, I think, are the best looking. Just in general, Psycho Pirate's paint's not too bad. I think they did a good job on that for the most part. Yeah, so what do you guys think of this Build-A-Figure wave? Did you buy it at full retail? Did you buy it at that Memorial Day sale? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe, and hit the bell. It all helps out the channel. And as always, peace.